and welcome back to the A Show, the Kings Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin, here with Meelz. Happy 2024. We're back after 1 week hiatus. First episode of the new year. What's going on, Meelz?
So many things. So many things. I am I don't know. What a weird year. I started off the year, I felt like more anxious about the year than anything. You know?
Why?
I just felt like there's like I feel like y- because of all the things that I do or things that I feel like there's just so much to be done. And that's usually what gives me anxiety. Is like there's so much stuff that needs to be done. There's so many things that need to be done. How am I gonna get through all of this? Blah 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 blah. Essentially, like a new 365. Oh fuck, is my way of looking at when the year started. I think it's toned down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely came into the year. Year was like New Year, great, all the other stuff like that. But then after that, I was just like, gosh, there's so much fucking things to do, and so much things I want to do. And will I be able to do all of them? And then usually, like thinking all of them makes me not want to do any of them.
What?
And
That makes me want to do it more. What do you mean?
really, yeah, I'm fucking weird, bro. I'm like, it gets into my head. That's my like. If you ever wanted to know like the source of my anxiety, it's like all the things that I have to do, and then suddenly it's like around my birthday, right?
Yeah.
Like back when I used to like plan out. Oh, we used to go out. We used to have a brunch with my friends and blah blah blah. But then like as I got older, like I don't know. I didn't want to plan. I feel like I'm talking to my psychologist. Um,
You got a lot on your mind today. I'm not expecting this energy.
yeah, I got a lot on my mind as we've been out for 2 weeks. Um, I feel like just planning all those things gives me a headache, so I end up not doing anything. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. I enjoy there's because my life is so because I have a lot of responsibilities and I'm always around people. Like a lot of responsibilities with my family and all this other stuff like that because essentially like I'm the I'm the responsible child. So a lot of things I have to deal with in terms of like getting stuff done for all my parents and my other family members. So when I do get a chance to like be alone and kind of just be able to vibe, I very much so appreciate that time. That's why every time you've called me or every time I've talked to you, I'm in Starbucks because I'm usually by myself.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's the so I'm trying to. When I did go to therapy like 2 years ago, my therapist told me gave me some mindfulness exercises. So just like take your mind off of all the other extra stuff, just kind of be present in the moment, appreciate everything in present. So I try to like do that every time. If I feel like it's kicking up, I'll like do some meditation or I'll do some other stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of things I want. But that's where I'm at for the year. What about you? Sorry if it was too heavy.
No, I mean, this year, I think it's just being more mindful of again improving upon where we were last year. Um, Making changes where they need to be. I see that you're already you have like August 2024 worries in January 2024.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of well, I was on mute. Well, yeah, there's a lot of like yeah, essentially, yes. Without going into too much, yes.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that, and I hear you, and I want to say you will get everything that you need to get done, finished. And I think that and then that goes for everybody. I think there's always a level of anxiety and concern and worry at the top of the year. We're what 9 days in now, and I think that ultimately it's really what you make of it. It's like how can you Meelz handle that stress better. That's a question that I would ask you to ask yourself. As you go through the years, and now and later. And don't answer it now, but it's something.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer it now. The answer I have now is not a nice answer.
I don't know what that means, but okay. No clue what that means.
Oh my god. Well, listen, it's a brand new year. Is it a brand new us? Are we here? Is it brand new us?
No.
No, okay, same us. Everyone else is the problem. Gotcha.
Same OG.
Um, same OG.
Yeah,
Yo, that song is fire.
same OG.
Um, but yeah, we got a lot to get through today.
Yes, we do. We
We
really
got
need to just kick it all off because the reason we didn't do a show last week is because there was nothing going on that week, and
right.
now there is everything going on this week. So we gotta get back to it.
Can I give one more thing, one more side before we get into everything?
Sure.
So I want to thank everybody for purchasing our T-shirts on the latter half of the year last year. Um, I always have a great time packing them up, everybody's names, seeing where everybody's from, and
That was very sinister.
no,
Let's
but like I like to I like to like, oh wow, didn't know like so we have so many fans from like or so many listeners from this place, or we have so many things from this place. Sorry to make it sound sinister. But you guys also know where I live now. So yeah. But no, I want to thank everybody and it was, we still got more shirts available if you want to. I'm gonna close up shop probably but by the end of January.
okay.
Um, so feel free, keep purchasing. Um, the side of why it took so long. I've been wanting to say this story for a number of weeks actually. So what took so long wasn't it wasn't the bags. The bags were the first thing to come. Um, it wasn't the shirts because the shirts then followed. So for a long time for this hot take thing, it's branding, it's marketing, it's all this other stuff like that. I wanted it to feel really, really hot. I couldn't secure any like hot sauce or anything, whatever.
Or lighters, as we talked about.
But no, we didn't talk about the lighters. That's what I was about to get into. So my idea was, okay, I want to, along with everything, send a lighter, a custom A show lighter, custom,
Yes.
custom emblem, all the types of things, hot takes, fire, us, amazing, that. So I waited for pretty much a couple more weeks after I got the shirts to eventually get these lighters. So I open up the package and I see all this like labeling on the package, flammable, packaging, da 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 da. And I was like, oh, you know what? It never crossed my mind that it's probably a process to like send lighters, which
Mhm.
is why this probably took so long. So I looked up the process to send lighters, and it ended up being like this extremely long, arduous process where I had to like pretty much certify ourselves as being able to send lighters. Um, so along with all the shirts, lighters were supposed to come. All the lighters are currently at my house. So I would like to say
You don't even smoke either, like or like do
I don't
anything.
smoke either. I don't fucking do anything. This was for y'all. I know other people smoke from being around other people. And me being the only one, nah, I'm good. What's your go-to when people ask you like, do people try to pass you anything? You be like, nah, I'm good.
Everyone pretty much knows that I don't smoke like around me, but like if in California everyone does. Like if they don't know, they'll give it to me. I'm like, oh, I don't smoke.
Yeah, I
And they
remember
usually
once. Oh,
say they usually say good. I'm just like,
I
whoa.
was yeah. I'm just like, I get that too with drinking and everything. It's like, wow, that's so good. I'm like, why? I don't. Whatever.
They sound like it's ruined their life. Like good.
Yeah, something along those lines. I remember the first weekend it became like legal to smoke outside in New York City, and I was with Rob Nelson and Jamal, and so they were smoking outside. And I think Rob just asked me. Rob knows I doesn't smoke, but I think either Rob or Nelson asked me anyway, and I was like, nah. But I appreciated them asking because it was clearly like three people smoking, and I'm just standing there looking in somebody else's house. So you know what? Shout out to Rob. Happy birthday, Rob. Happy belated birthday, Rob. Happy birthday, Donnie, too. Um, and yeah, I appreciated that. But yeah, if you see me on the streets, if you ever come to New York City, um, just know that these are a collector's item at this point. So if you see me or I see you,
Mhm.
ask me for a lighter.
You're just gonna have them one hand. The lighter man.
I will. Yeah, I will try to carry them out during the weekends or something.
What's up with
And
these
my wife will.
tunnels? What's up with these tunnels in New York? What's up with
You don't want me to get in. That's a
hey,
Patreon. Let's get it on Patreon, please.
it's like a cabal of
You
yo,
don't want me to get into this on public.
they're
Let's get
wildin'.
on that on Patreon,
Okay, all right,
please,
all right.
please.
Let's get into the into like the pertinent information, and I think Patreon will be kind of a mix of the shows, and we'll kind of run through really quick the past 3 weeks of shows on
I want to talk about
WWE.
these tunnels on Patreon too. I know this isn't the Black Print where y'all are gonna do all this shit.
Oh, we're definitely talking about these tunnels on Black Pants.
Oh, okay. I if I let me at least give you some context. When we talk about it on Patreon, hopefully you'll have some context to move with that information over on Black Print. But yes, um, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Can I let me roll through the topics,
Okay.
and we'll just knock them off one by one. We'll either have answers or not have answers.
Yeah.
Um, First things first. Did you see the Iron Claw?
No, I can't do it. I'm not gonna do
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
Neither have I. We can move on.
I'm not gonna do it. I mean, I know the story. I don't think I need to see the story.
We've seen
Uh,
Dark Side of the Ring, yes.
yeah, I don't think I need to see the story like that. You know what I mean? I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. So you have no interest in seeing it at all.
Not really. No, I'll see it on streaming. I'm pretty. I know it's great. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those where I know it's great. I just know that I don't really want to be wrecked like that. That's why would
Mm,
someone do that to themselves?
you don't want
Makes
to deal with white trauma for once.
I don't think it's white trauma. I think it's trauma. I think
It's
it's
tr- I'm just playing over like black trauma, slavery movies.
it's
Um,
I think it's universal. I think it's about siblings. You know what I mean? And if you're close to
mm,
your siblings, this one's gonna hit differently. And I mean, I think if you know the story, which a lot of people probably do, um, it's a tough it's a very tough story to see on screen.
all
So
right, all right. So we're not seeing it. Don't look for the review. Um, Up next, Kevin Dunn is done with WWE.
yes,
I've been waiting
Dunn
2 weeks to say that.
Dunn has left. He has departed. The news came out. It broke late last week, I think, or early last week, and
Yeah.
more information came out that he just retired. He said, I want to go out right now. People were like, you can wait for wait for Mania. Wait for Mania. He was like, nah, I'm out. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go now. You guys are lame. They just left.
Essentially, they were like, essentially, people were telling him what to do, and he was like, "Nigga, what? I'm Kevin Dunn, baby. I don't follow. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? I only listen to Vince. I've created this business. I help. How professional wrestling is shown today and depicted today is all because of me. Yeah,
I I
yeah.
think that I honestly think that um TKO'd. They said we're doing this the way that we want to do it, and it was cool when you did it back in the day, but them was the old days, and this is now.
This is the new days. Shit, you're right. You're right. But I also think from his standpoint, I see a lot of people in various positions like him. How old is Kevin Dunn? Let's look at that.
Gotta be in
Kevin
the
Dunn. Yeah, gotta be. Kevin Dunn. Wow. Okay, Kevin Dunn, WWE. 61.
yeah, makes sense.
So, um, from my experience working with old people,
As the connoisseur of working with old people, yes,
I've worked with old people for a very, very long time in a previous employment capacity.
yes.
Um, they do not like change.
No, they don't.
They're pretty set in their ways of how things kind of go. So once things start changing, and it doesn't even have to be just a structural change. Like for instance, right? Like WWE headquarters is now in a new building, right?
Mhm.
I could see Kevin Dunn like, why doesn't my office look exactly how it did before? And it's like, well, Kevin, we're trying this open office kind of thing, you know, to build collaboration and teamwork. And he's like, I don't want any of that shit. Build my walls back up.
Then he starts saying these fucking liberals.
Yeah. He's like, I could see him like they show up on SmackDown and they start. It's one of them Dame Dash things where they get to it and Jay Z's having meetings with Lior and he's not there.
Yeah, H and Khan are working with the I think his name Mark Shapiro or something from TKO. I mean, the guy from
And Dunn
TKO.
ain't know CM Punk was coming back. He was like, CM Punk. How am I the last to know?
I don't fuck with him, but it's like I think essentially like you start to see these things happen when they start to move guys out of these positions, and I think that it's perfectly it's perfectly understandable that TKO wants to run things their way now. I don't think it's wild, but I think he thought it was wild, and that's why he left.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you got the bread, he's got the stocks, he's got the bread, he's got the time, he's got everything. You can go.
Yeah,
The business I think he feels, especially Nick Khan's statements towards him. I think essentially he has had a major contribution to the business, the way professional wrestling is seen and how it's taken is pretty much like his kind of vision and how he built that. He has built it up to the point where the machine can move on. He is set in infrastructure and processes and all this other stuff where the machine can move on and he doesn't even need to be there anymore. So you know what? If he wants to retire, retire. It is what it is.
yeah.
Um,
I won't miss him. I think that a lot of people are like a lot of things are gonna change. I'm like I don't know if too many things are gonna change.
no, not really. I mean, they did the walking promo with Chopper last night. I was like, oh, that was new.
But I think, I mean, but they've been doing a lot of new things regardless of him being
Yeah.
there, you know? Like they've been doing a lot of new things anyway. So I think that like ultimately this changes things and we'll see the result of those changes in the coming weeks. But as of right now, they've pretty much been running the same type of ship. I mean, WWE is going to look like what WWE looks like, whether you like it or not,
Hey
ultimately.
man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Moving on from WWE to AEW. AEW a couple weekends ago had World's End, and Samoa Joe is your brand new AEW champion. He won it in the main event against MJF, where they subsequently also revealed the Devil, which turned out to be Adam Cole and his goofhead friends. Um, Thoughts on everything World's End and how AEW ends its year?
Uh,
All right. Samoa Joe, man. Talk about guy who's in the right place at the right time always, right?
Listen, I think that the devil reveal, and let's just be real, is an admission that they failed with Adam Cole as a babyface.
Mm.
It is a admission of failure. He came back. They gave him all of this pomp and circumstance. He got to
And
announce the new
he,
show. He
he
got all of
recovered
it.
from all types of injuries. He came back. It was a triumphant return. Yeah.
I think that doing this showed that there was no interest and no confidence in Adam Cole could be that, or that Adam Cole could be that needle mover that the company needed in a way that MJF was.
Mm.
There was nothing stopping them from going with someone else and then having Adam Cole still be a babyface. There was nothing stopping them from doing that.
I
Whereas
agree.
as MJF takes a break, who
I
knows when Adam
agree.
Cole, like who knows where Adam Cole, when he's going to come back. I think that
Or
it was,
MJF.
or MJ, yeah, either of them. But I think that ultimately, isn't it a better and stronger story if they both come back together as baby faces to take on this threat?
I think so. I mean, um, first of all, I'm glad we're on the same page with this
Yeah.
because I feel like Adam Cole, especially with MJF slotting out, it's easier to slot Adam Cole in. Like now you have the mantle of the top babyface in the company, and you can kind of move forward with that because to be honest with you, as good as Mox is, I don't think he gives top baby. He kind of really does whatever he wants at this point. But
Is he a
he
baby
doesn't
face?
really. I don't know. He
Mhm.
bites people. I don't know.
No.
Like that's my like affiliation with Mox. It's like he bites people. He'll turn whichever way suits him at that point. Um, but I thought it was like a very easy layup, not only to give an opportunity to someone else, right?
Hmm.
So instead of it being Adam Cole is already somewhat of a name in AEW, MJF is already a name. You have the opportunity to elevate someone to their level as well, create a new star as well. But you pretty much just reunited the kingdom and gave them Wardlow. Like you didn't do it. They didn't do anything. They're not AEW champions. In fact, they help facilitate someone else becoming AEW champion. Um, they were already ROH champions. They just shifted the title to them. I like the net positive I'm trying to find from this is like there it's very very hard to find in terms of what they did with actually creative. They haven't really changed anything or done anything. In fact, I guess the only thing they've done is make Adam Cole a heel, which in
He's
terms
always a
of
heel.
yeah, I feel like don't get me wrong, I think his best work has been done as a heel, right? Um, but it's not
True.
like it's
I mean,
anything.
they,
It's not majorly different than him being a face, to be honest with you.
they tried it with him in NXT for a hot second, but I think that they knew when to stop it. He was only like a baby face for like that from the McAfee feud in like the winter to like what was it like July when he super
Aaron
kicked
Cross,
in.
baby.
Oh yeah. Like it was like a very short amount of time that he was like a baby face, but it was
Right,
because it was pandemic. There was a lot of people doing a lot of shit at that point, but it worked at that point. But to their credit, they didn't keep him baby. They didn't keep him babyface for long. I think
right.
here people want to cheer, or at least wanted to cheer Adam Cole at that point, and you kind of fucked that. You kind of fucked it up. You kind of fucked it up. I'm gonna lie.
It's yeah, it's there's a lot of things going on in that company. It looks to be in a very much would you say actually, you know what the exercise I would like to do? I don't know if maybe we can do this next week, right?
Mhm.
Let's kind of like weigh out the positives and negatives of the first 5 years of AEW.
No. Okay. Go ahead. All right. Fine.
We did this with title once, remember?
Yeah.
Let's see how title this company.
I don't got a resounding no from both of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't
So
supporting
let's
black
go.
business.
I think it would be great to do like this 5 year because it has been 5 years since they made the announcement. And what's crazy is we've been around for the entire fucking thing.
Mhm.
So we've watched this on the ground floor as it moved. I think we should do some sort of like not 5 year retrospective, but just what's positives, negatives, what could they be doing better? Let's actually like for the people who just say that I'm not doing this for the people who say they hate on AEW, but I'm essentially doing this to like really kind of like, okay, how does this company look from where it started to where it is now? And
Mhm.
I think we can do that. And I think in 5 years, I mean, probably in the next 4 years, we'll see how like the TKO has changed WWE as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
um, it is what it is. But yeah, AEW World's End, it was certainly by the way, not their probably worst pay per view of all time. But
Some people don't want to admit that. There's people literally the next day trying to like talk it down, like, the people who are saying that it's whack, they did this and this, and it was strong. It was a strong card. I'm just like, come on, man. Y'all don't got to do this. Y'all can agree with us.
um, shout out to Andrade El Idolo, who finished up with AEW.
Yes.
Um, people say he should be in WWE imminently. They even said as soon as Monday. There was like,
I was like, damn, he don't got a non compete.
when I switch jobs, I like to take some time off between jobs. I don't know about you. Um, y'all not going to see me on Monday Night Raw, but um, let's see what else happened on this show. Oof, let's talk about it. Nasty Man, Chris Jericho.
This blew up. We expected nothing to happen. This really blew up in the time that we've been gone. Nick Hausman, a reporter for House of Wrestling, the guy who CM Punk accosted at the Brawl Out press scrum a couple of years
Mm,
ago. He made a offhand comment about Chris Jericho being compared to Harvey Weinstein, which is that's like saying somebody's R. Kelly, right? Like that's a big accusation on somebody, correct?
Right. I say he said. I think more so of like I don't know. I guess even the orbit of saying like Harvey Weinstein, Chris Jericho presents it in a bad kind of light. So there's no way
Heavy.
that I can. Yeah, there's no way that you can kind of like really like defend it because Harvey Weinstein is like it's a big fucking thing.
He's in prison.
Um, you did a lot. They just released what did they just release?
What?
Is they just released Harvey Weinstein's fuck, what was it, the docs,
Oh,
which
no, it's Epstein. You're thinking of Epstein, not
oh,
Weinstein.
I'm bugging.
Yeah,
Oh,
thinking
sorry.
of
Oh
Epstein.
my god. Oh,
Wrong predator.
sorry. I just get all these nasty niggas and
Yeah, wrong predator, brother.
Chris Weinstein. Oh, yeah, Y2 Weinstein. But nonetheless, this blew up. Um, he compared it to that. People, Chris Jericho, at some point, step. This might be more of a lesson of like mind your business. Because this is because this is something that stemmed from Christmas, where Christmas night. This stemmed from the NDA thing.
Yeah, yep,
That
yep.
had nothing to do. I mean, there's a degree of separation now, but realistically, like this stems from the NDA thing where they were like, "Oh, the Young Bucks' wife did not sign an NDA, and Lucy also did not sign an NDA, and all this other stuff." And Chris Jericho just pops in Christmas night, "I didn't sign an NDA," and it's like, "Nigga, who
But
asked?"
it was also stemming from a long kind of like stretch of conversation surrounding Stephen P. New, who is CM Punk's lawyer and also Jim Cornette's lawyer, and having that situation kind of like I don't know, like blow up for
Right.
lack of a better term at that point because of it. And that's when the NDA talk came out, and it was just bad vibes and juju on every side there. Like it was just like, what are
Yeah.
we doing? What are we
Essentially,
doing?
they're like, "I wouldn't be talking about NDAs if I were you, considering da da da." Da." Which then bring up the conversation of like, um, what's my girl's name?
Oh,
Um,
Kylie Ray.
Kaylee. Yeah, yeah. And that kind of whole situation and the implied nature that Chris Jericho received some sort of was involved with Kylie Ray's exit from AEW,
Yes.
um, which was, I mean, then it's implied heavily because Kylie Ray herself responded in a thread that was related to it with a heart emoji,
Mhm.
um, and now
Kind of
so at this
implies, which kind of implies that like something's up.
yeah
Something's going.
so um Kylie Ray, I mean, this is bringing back to 5 years of AEW, right? She was the first release ever in AEW. Um, of like why that situation went down, and we haven't had much clarity itself. And to be honest with you, it's really none of our business unless she decides to make it our business.
Mhm.
But a lot of people surmise that Chris Jericho had something to do with it. We got to the AEW World's End Scrum. Um, Tony Khan was asked multiple times, some outright, some in a very weak fashion. I hate weak journalists. I hate whack journalists. I hate journalists who feel like they're apologizing for making a question that you just want an answer to.
Yes.
Um, but and that's probably because like we love Tony, but Tony, we gotta ask the hard questions. I'm sorry. Um, they asked Tony Khan straight blank. He says, "Listen, we have the most safe company in the world. This is the greatest company in the world, and I do not respond to internet conjecture, internet unsourced internet rumors
Yeah.
regarding the situation." And it's made people look at Chris Jericho definitely in a different way. Chris Jericho was booed on the World's End pay per view.
Boot loudly too in a match where he's supposed to be a baby face.
Yeah,
Literally, it was I went back and watched it. It was a very quiet match, and they didn't react to pretty much anything, which had to be a frustrating situation for everyone, including Sting in his last match in New York City.
well, he don't have to have it in Long Island. I mean, he ain't have to have. He could have go to House of Wrestling somewhere, man. Like figure it out, like different somewhere else. But either way, it's definitely a very interesting. Chris Jericho has not been as seen as he was as much before, and when he has, he's been booed. To be honest with you, I think they should drop the name the Sex Gods. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like they should. I mean, he's getting a tag team championship match on Collision, so I guess they're shielding him on Collision. Um, but
You shouldn't be shielding him at all.
I agree. I agree. So what? I mean, in this kind of situation, if you're Tony Khan and you're presented with this question over and over, do you feel like he handled it in the best way possible? Do you feel like he could have
No.
handled it better? Oh,
No, he was
okay.
wearing a fucking hat, like the Tony Storm's little hat gimmick. No, he didn't handle it well. He looked ridiculous.
Absolutely.
He handled that probably the worst you could handle a situation in life. I think it made it look like he was not serious. I mean, he's pretty much unserious in all ways, shapes, and forms regularly anyway, Meelz. So like at the end of the day, he's even more unserious with the hat and sunglasses on. I think that there's a major personnel issue in his company, and he does not want to address it, with the right gravitas, if you will. And I think that when it comes to allegations and things like this, fans want answers. Whether it's Vince McMahon, whether it's Chris Jericho, whether it's anything, all these nasty men, these perverts, they want answers. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't gotten to like actual litigation, which is, who knows if that's coming or on the way. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think that ultimately you look at it and it's like, bro, like Tony Khan's wildin'. You know what I mean? Like that is a wild thing for him to. I don't want to say. Well, I mean,
Deflect.
you kind of could say swept it under the rug. Could you say that?
I think you could. I think in a sense because, and the only reason I say that is because it seemed like one, he didn't answer the question.
No, no, he didn't.
And I think in this situation, if anyone who's been, um, and we'll talk about someone else who probably should have answered the question a long time ago, um, but I think he should have outright either said yes or no, um, because there's no answer to it, and at the end, it brings more speculation surrounding it. I think Chris Jericho himself is going to end up making a statement. If I had to guess, I would guess he's going to end up making a statement because he's going to end up feeling like it's this thing in his career. If I also know Chris Jericho, hashtag knowing Chris Jericho,
He likes attention.
yeah. But also, he's going to try to. I think he's going to try to ignore it for as long as he can until he realizes he can't ignore it anymore. And
Yeah.
these are actually serious allegations that are against him, and that he needs to put this in the bud. But the reality is, I guess the worst thing they could find out is that it's true,
Right.
and that people knew about it.
And the energy to me is that it is.
That's what it feels like to me. Because I think if it's not true, I think he immediately states it just out and blown. Like, no, that never
Right.
happened.
Right.
And AEW has a history of that. We have the best team, and disciplinary committee. Like, come on, if someone gets sexual harassed, you can send them to Brian Danielson. Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh man, what is Brian Danielson going to say about it? And again, it's the way you run this company, and I think going into 2024, it's a crucial year for them. They have a TV deal that they have to get settled by the end of the year. They have. I don't even think it's like a question of competition at this point with WWE. I don't even want to like even get into that. Like,
Sure,
that is it. It's not close, right?
no,
It's not close. Like I think people are hanging on to work rate, which they should. AEW has the best work rate of any company out right now. That's no question. That is the truth. But I think in terms of like a TV show and something that you could be invested in and care about, it is still very niche. 5 years in, it's not good. It's not good.
There's a million ways that this probably could have been handled better. AEW chose none of them. So it'll be interesting to see how they move over the next month with this whole Chris Jericho thing. I think at some point you've got to address this. I think it's a hindering not only to him, but his opponents that are in the ring because it's a monumental distraction from the match. I assume they think that people will eventually forget about this, which is kind of crazy to think, and I think there's a level of arrogance with that as well.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see. I mean, let's kind of look at this as kind of the tale of like, all right, let's say they never address this, right?
Oh boy. Not a
Last
good
week,
not a good
last week, a video surfaced online from Velveteen Dream himself. This is the Nasty Man news section. Um, he apologized um, profusely for this entire situation and the negative press and the negative energy that that's brought to a lot of people, including Triple H, including HBK, including WWE, including his family, including Tahuti Miles, which is Asante the Adonis, who's getting repackaged on
showed up on
SmackDown.
TV. Showed up on TV that same week. I was like, wow. What a
Look
rollout.
at that. Right? Look at
What
that. He set him free from multicolored overalls and shit. Um, but yeah, he gave that apology, and just speaking for myself, he seems sincere with it. Um, I think he's had a lot of time to reflect on the things that he did, especially at the age that he was. But the reality of the situation is, the situation probably needed to be addressed when it was happened. And I think it was the arrogance of Velveteen Dream, and in a sense, like WWE, in a sense, that
Mhm.
thought that they would be able to move on from this, especially when people continue to ask questions, whether on press media calls or you know press things or all these other stuff, or online or in comments and stuff like that. And I felt like for a long time they would get to. Now Chris Jericho, in a sense, he's had his career, he's had the bulk of his career behind him, so if anything happens to him at this point, he's had a long lengthy career.
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream roughly had a
Had
spark.
he had no career.
Still,
Yeah,
yeah, essentially he was still figuring it out on the way there, but we knew that he was a talented wrestler, albeit a little bit eccentric. But um, he now looks at his thing, and I find it very, very hard to see if he follows his own dream of being a wrestler ever again, and if anyone will ever hire him again. And
without
I
it.
think there's a lot of there's a lot of like ethical, socio, all this other things that kind of go into this as well. But I think the arrogance of not addressing this head on when it happened, not addressing these situations. You look at, for instance, a Matt Riddle. He's had the nastiest of allegations surrounding him.
And Matt Striker doesn't care.
And Matt Striker does not get, first of all, I fucking hate Matt Striker. I can't watch WWE's period where he's on commentary. It is the worst that the product has ever been.
With him at
And
the helm.
yes, oh my God, it's worse than Kevin. It's
Oh
worse.
wow.
He is my all-time least favorite commentator ever.
That's real
I
hate.
it is. It is. Um but I think even with I mean, Matt Riddle, in a sense, through all his things, would take to social media and be like, I ain't do that shit. Even if he was wrong, that shit wasn't me.
Come on, bro. That wasn't me, bro.
They felt me up at Penn Station. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Velveteen Dream just chose to ignore it. He wanted to keep the ambiance of the character. He wanted to maintain the disguise and the enigma of the character. And you look at him 5 years later, and he has nothing to. He has nothing now.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he does for a living.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think that when you look at Velveteen, I don't want to say like the apology, I think, was a little too late. I think in a lot of ways. Just like him admitting or not admitting, but you know, saying that he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? That came out too late. You know what I mean? It was like, it's like, bro, like that's over with. You know what I mean? Like
right. To the
we
point
now,
of, even if it didn't happen, people don't believe him.
yeah, he said nothing. He said nothing about it. And I think you know, it sounded sincere. It should be sincere because at the end of the day, he put a lot of people in a fucked up position in that company. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So like ultimately, like, yeah, he should. But like I think that what are we supposed to do with that? Like when I saw it, I was like,
yeah,
what are we supposed to do with this?
yeah. I mean, I was like, yeah. I
Like
mean,
shit.
that was kind of my reaction. I was like,
Good for you.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
good for you. I mean,
I
you,
was like, I was happy for Asante to Adonis. I was happy for Tahuti Miles, um, in a sense. I mean, I don't really know him. I don't know the brother, but so I don't know what he's into. But
what? I beg your pardon.
I've there's got to be a reason he's apologizing, right?
Yeah, but do you think Dream feels as though he kind of fucked up Tahuti's career? Is that your thought here?
I guess so. Yeah, I think he felt like because of its in close proximity, it ruined a lot of the kind of like social things that he probably could have received. I mean, it's a story to tell from someone who probably has been at the PC. I think they would have a lot more information, but the from
Yeah,
the stuff that we heard is that people didn't really mess with the Velveteen Dream because of various items. And you
yes,
saw one of them with I think EC3 talked about it a long time ago or
yeah,
sometime last year. Um, and Tahuti Miles was one of his best friends, and he supported him through this entire situation, no matter what. And I think he was probably also looked at as like,
a shit
"Yo,
stirrer or a
you,
problem
yeah,
starter.
if you messing with him, like, hey man, listen, y'all do,
You complicit. You know,
yeah,
ultimately he looks complicit, and I think that uh again, like, and I feel like we're talking about fucking Velveteen Dream a lot here, but you know,
right."
it
I
was
mean,
a
this was a bigger. It was with the I included the Jericho and the Riddle and the Velvet Dream and all the other nasty
nasty
things, but
guys,
yeah, yeah.
nasty
But
nasty boys. Like,
it's more so in like in terms of like I guess what in this kind of situation, um, where allegations and accusations are being presented, the best way to kind of handle it, especially in 2023, is to address it head on. But the reality is, if you don't address it head on, it's likely people are going to surmise that whatever was accused may
it's
have
true.
happened.
Yeah, it was true. Yeah,
And you don't want to leave that up to interpretation if it didn't happen. So I look at the AEW Scrum thing and I'm like, it would have been way better if this didn't happen. You just address it and say, like, no, this didn't happen and stuff like that. If it did happen, I see why they did it the way they did it. But
no, if it did happen, the way that they did it leaves them open to more issues and possible more litigation.
and
Let's
it
be
yeah,
real.
and it looks it's gonna look very funny in the light for a lot of people who were involved
Yeah.
in
Yep.
AEW at that time.
I think that it is very ill advised for Tony to move the way he did. It's very ill advised to at this point, if you're going to put Jericho on your TV, to not say anything about it.
Right.
And I think that ultimately it's another one that, you know, while it won't be shrugged or put under the rug or swept under the rug by a lot of people that have actual sense, I think that their fans will ultimately, you know, try and, you know, sweep it on the record. Because again, like, we gave Austin Theory no pass. We
Jack
gave
Gallagher.
yeah, all of them. We gave all of them people
He working on the railroad right now. I don't know where that man is going at this
we
point.
gave them no pass for any of this. So like ultimately, I think you know that it's fair that you know you have to hold you know these people accountable in some way, shape, or form. So we'll see how that shakes out.
And then I also think, especially in a situation where people kind of like publicly know the alleged victim, it gives people then feel empowered, people who are fans who don't know any better and who quite frankly are dumbasses, to attack said victim and like it's not true. You're just want some fucking money. I hate that, all the stuff that happens when accusations came out. You talk about Diddy and Cassie, you talk about all these other things like that. Like all this is the result of that. And it's just much better if it's clearly addressed in some sort of way. Moving on from that, I don't know how we segue from that carefully. So do I want to put this man in line of fire? The Rock.
I knew it. I freaking knew it. Go ahead.
The Rock made his return to WWE last week, Monday on Raw. We said nothing was going to happen. Apparently, The Rock said, "Oh, really?
I beg your pardon."
Hit it strong, or whatever stupid lame.
Team, bring it.
Team, bring it. What's another lame Rock shirt? Some with lips.
Bring it, University.
Oh my god. Either way, The Rock returned last Monday night on Raw and cut a god awful promo with Jinder Mahal. I love The Rock.
Do you?
I love The Rock.
Do you?
I do. He's a big part of my childhood. It's just it just is. It's like he's probably the reason why I look at wrestling kind of the way I do now from an entertainment standpoint and value those and stories over actual fucking wrestling in the ring. But that was awful.
What was your reaction in the chat as it was happening?
I don't think I was in the chat, but I know, first of all, I'm reacting just like Samantha when The Rock comes out. It's The Rock. First of all, for them doing the bait and switch, I saw it coming. Triple H is a troll. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And Jinder having this moment is crazy because Jinder hadn't been on TV for months. But just all of it was just, none of it was good. And even the way he got to the point he was trying to make at the end was terrible. The Rock is gonna.
He cut a white nationalist promo,
bro,
on the USA Network at 9 p.m. Can we be clear
against another person of color? It's just crazy. That was nuts, bro. I kept saying, like you said, I think I did respond with that in the chat of like, yo, this is like a very like nationalist, like we don't do this anymore.
Yeah. What, do you love America that much, my brother?
I'm trying to see if I can find. Anyway, 1 billion people ate it up according to their social. So it's
I don't give 1 billion people eat a lot of shit. Can we just be clear? 1 billion people be eating shit, a lot of shit. Like I don't, that don't move me in any way, shape.
At all.
That doesn't move me, bro. Like, so ultimately, what the Rock did on that night was basically let niggas know I'm really gonna run Republican, bro. I'm running for the Republican office, my guys. That's what I'm doing.
He had one side chant day one and the other side chant douchebag. And I was like, what are we doing? I was like, where are we? I'm trying to get to the point. I want to get to this lame Here we go. I want to play this. Because this might be the worst part for me. Hold on.
Something to eat tonight in San Diego. Should The Rock sit in a booth? Or should The Rock sit at the bar?
I'm tired.
Yeah, The Rock loves a bar too. Or should The Rock sit at the head of the table?
That was so lame. I was just like, you did that to get there?
Went nowhere. I was like, what? I was like, where is he going with this?
The crowd at the beginning was like, "Should the Rock is gonna get something to eat?" They're like, "Okay," and beer. Sit at the bar. Yeah, we love beer. Get some beer, Rock.
It's like, what? Huh? Like, where
should he sit at the head of the table? It's like, wait, where did that come from?
Where does that even link to, my guy?
So people are surmising,
yes,
from this part,
mm-hmm.
that The Rock will face Roman Reigns at some point this year. And now the question is, will this happen at WrestleMania?
Okay.
Is the story that Cody is trying to tell, will it be interrupted for the box office draw of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? What say you?
I mean, listen.
I would assume if you did a Venn diagram,
yes,
and you have people who said The Rock is going to face Roman at WrestleMania, and Sami Zayn is going to face Roman at WrestleMania, I think they would be right in the middle. I think those people would be one and the same.
Right. Here's my thing. Ultimately, Meelz, Rock and Roman, blockbuster. It is.
It is.
But I think that to a certain aspect, Cody and Roman is, but to a different audience. To a different audience. Okay? Mm-hmm. I think that you would almost have to say, listen, we are going to just complete, because The Rock said yes, sorry, Cody, we're gonna fuck you over here.
The Rock said yes in January.
I just don't think that's what they want to do here. You know, like, I just don't think that's the plot. I don't think that's the deeper plot at this point. I don't know, Meelz. Am I wrong? Am I out of sorts here by saying that? Like, I just don't think that ultimately, if that is the move with The Rock, that is a good idea for where they're going with Cody. I've the story to me, Meelz, always felt like it was going to be Cody to end it off.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
I can't see, with how non-committal The Rock has been over the last number of years, that this would result in anything but just a spectacle of the match, which, realistically, if he can do this at WrestleMania, he can do this at any other point this year.
Right.
Now, WrestleMania, yes, is WrestleMania, of course. Mm-hmm. And will it sell more tickets? Absolutely. But I don't think you jeopardize is a very strong term.
It's a strong term, but it's a correct term. I think you don't jeopardize. I think
the course of WWE, I don't think you jeopardize completely for The Rock. And if The Rock is available at WrestleMania and wants to be at WrestleMania in some capacity, they will figure out a way for The Rock to be there.
Yeah.
Now, It doesn't have to be Roman Reigns at all. But since he made that statement, there's very much a big allusion to it. But I don't know. The Rock says a lot of fucking things, bro.
He lies a lot. He literally said he never had In-N-Out before. And then they said, yes, you did. Like, what are you saying? Like, I just think, I think you can love The Rock, but I think, Meelz, you gotta be real. Like, do you really want to see this match?
Me, no.
Other than oh shit, they're standing in the ring together. Do you really want to see it?
Yeah, that would be fire. I mean, they could do that on SmackDown.
You can do it anytime. And here's the thing, I don't even think Roman would be able to like, I don't even think Rock would be able to take Roman on the mic now, because he's just so much better on the mic at this point. What story is there to pull from it other than, yeah, man, you're my cousin?
Yeah. My thing is that I wouldn't believe the story. They couldn't do WrestleMania for me unless The Rock entered the Rumble and won the Rumble.
Yeah.
I think if anyone else wins the Rumble, it looks completely sketch. If Cody wins the Rumble and says, "I'm choosing Seth, y'all."
Hey, I stand with AEW, bro.
So then CM Punk is like, the fuck?
Yes, I stand with AEW, bro. If that is what we are doing, I stand with AEW, my friends, my pals.
Listen, if they go to baby with it, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be fire, man. I feel like you jeopardize a lot. You pull out a pretty important Jenga piece that kind of makes everything kind of like fall apart. You essentially have to kind of like rewrite all the things you were building towards, all the moments that you were heading towards these things. And not to say that you can't have this moment, not to say Roman and Cody can't happen at Crown Jewel or some sort of SummerSlam or something along those lines, but you slow down the progress of WWE that's been getting you this money. I think if they don't do Rock versus Cody there, I mean, if they don't do Roman versus Cody, it probably delayed until SummerSlam, which means that CM Punk has to figure out something to do at SummerSlam. So now he may have to win the world title, but he is not there actively every week on Raw. But also Damian Priest has to cash in this money in the bet. Like, it's a lot of different things
A lot of
going
moving
on.
parts. Yeah.
If the Rock, whereas you can still have the Rock at WrestleMania. You can still have the Rock in the orbit of Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Right.
But he just doesn't need to be in the main event of WrestleMania. And I think, considering how he was breathing hard during that second of the promo, I don't think he's up to par currently to be able to do this. But
that was should the Rock
say that?
Go to a bar? Should the Rock
Oh my God.
go to a car? Should the Rock go to
sit at the head of the table? Oh man,
bro, that man was lightheaded, my nigga.
Oh wait, we got to get to the. Hold on, this might be my favorite part of the Rock promo. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up the audio. I don't. We got to move on to the other small things before we head into the show. But Michael Cole was one of the greatest. Did you hear him when the Rock came out?
Whoa! Yeah.
Hold on, let's see. Is it? Hold on, it's not playing. I have it muted. Hold on, let's see.
But also my langa guy.
The hell is wrong with you, brother? Get up.
Pat McAfee got into this nigga so bad. Yo, Michael Cole's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, this bro, pull your pants up, my man. Are you okay?
Yo,
yeah.
I nearly lost it when that happened. I was like, "Yo, shout out to the he has the energy of 12 Kevin Patricks on show."
Kevin Patrick, wow, The Rock.
Oh, it's The Rock.
Cruising around the bend or whatever the fuck he says.
Oh my God. All right, let's finish this up before we head into the shows. WWE announced their partnership with APW. And they sent William Regal's son, and he had a great time. And it seemed like APW wants to do more business with WWE,
and they should,
and they should, and that's kind of like the long, everything for it. Regal's son looked like he had a great time. Shout out to Charlie Dempsey, who's out here wrestling, real wrestling,
yeah,
and just having a great time. Wrestle Kingdom was also last week. How do you feel about Wrestle Kingdom these days? Oh, you didn't watch. Sorry.
Didn't watch. Yep.
Also didn't watch, but had matches like Okada versus Danielson.
Yep.
Naito versus Sonata.
Yep.
Tetsuya Naito wins the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Quick thoughts? Any thoughts?
Good for him. I watched the Osprey Mox white guy triple
Finley.
threat. Yeah, Finley triple threat. I watched that. I think that ultimately, at the end of the day, there it is a brand that we didn't mention that Tanahashi is now the president of New Japan.
Yes.
That's like Cena being the CEO of WWE at this point. But I think that there's a large contingent of people who are excited about like what's going on in that company, and they really should be, because there's a lot of really cool stuff that's happening and continuing to happen there. I just think that getting me to care about it is very tough.
I agree. Did you see him? Nick Nemeth was there. Did you see him?
Yeah, I saw that nigga.
Okay.
What you want me to say?
He's not he didn't immediately go to AEW, which I thought was big. Apparently he's doing the
Big.
indie jam.
That's big that he didn't want to go to AEW. That's actually really big. I think that it takes a lot of what's the word I'm trying to find here? It takes a lot of strength mentally to not go over there and shit on WWE. Like they did a lot for him. They did a lot for young Dolph.
They taught him how to wrestle. I think it came straight from the biz, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's cool. I think Impact would be a big company for him to go to.
So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about next. Low key, what's this fucking pay-per-view? Hard to Kill. What's it called?
It's hard to kill. Hard to kill.
Hard to Kill.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, how is it possible that TNA gets it, but AEW doesn't?
I mean, get what?
Because I feel like this pay-per-view and how they're marketing it and how everyone's going to be featured on it and the surprises that I think the tagline is like something like
you'll never guess who's showing up or some shit.
Yeah, or something along those lines. It's a great. It feels great.
Guess what, nigga, from TNA? It's Gilbert. No, I mean, I think TNA has a lot of they got a hot hand right now. I think there's a lot of interest. I think they're becoming kind of the and not in a bad way, the ironic kind of choice for a lot of people that want to watch wrestling in a way that they haven't been in decades, at least. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it would be cool for them to get back on their feet and find some leverage somewhere, because you need to have another. I think ultimately you need to have another alternative at this point, because a lot of people are falling out of AEW. They're falling out of love with it. You know what I mean? And I think that when you give a lot of time to your women's division, a lot of time to a lot of divisions that people like Trinity and others and Deonna Purrazzo and stuff like that who gave a lot to it. It allowed them to get the cachet to say, okay, we're rebuilding, and now we've rebuilt, and now it's time to change the face of what this company looks like now. And I think they've done a really good job with it. I don't know if they did a good enough job to make me want to watch.
Want to tune in?
Yeah, but good for everyone who does.
Amen. They're doing a good job there. Shout out to last 2 points. Trinity Watch.
Another watch?
Trinity Watch. Apparently, according to all sources, Trinity is set to finish up with TNA at some point this month and could be heading back to WWE as soon as the Royal Rumble.
Cool, man.
Trinity, yeah. The glow might be back. Naomi might be back. Interesting set of events. That's not to be outdone by the calamity and the confusion and the pure trolling of Monet Watch.
Are you tired of it yet? Because I told you. Are you tired of it?
I'm tired of it. I feel like people should be more tired of it than they are. I think wrestling journalists should be tired of it most of all. And I think they should respond in kind to their own rumors or the rumor mill and stuff, because we've heard over the last month month and a half.
Mhm.
Talks fell through with Mercedes Moné and AEW. Oh, Mercedes Moné looks like she's going back to WWE. Oh, Mercedes Moné deal
Expected.
is expected to debut for AEW relatively soon. And then now we're hearing things that she hasn't signed anything yet. We're hearing she could debut last week on Dynamite. She could debut this week on Dynamite. She could debut sometime in the near future, but she's expected to debut.
She getting 7 mil. She getting 8 mil. She getting 9 mil. She's hanging out with Noriega, the real Noriega. Listen, I want to be real with you. I want to be real with you, Jamil.
Be really real. Be really real.
I want to be real with you.
You're being extra real.
Does she move a needle in AEW? Be real.
No. And that's easy for me to say because
here's the thing. No, and it's not because of her. How about that?
Yes, that's exactly. It's not because of her. If AEW was in a situation, I look at it similar to if they were in a similar situation to, let's say, TNA in 2000, what was it? TNA in 2006, where they're building up a lot of hype, had a lot of great names, had an impressive look, and then you bring Kurt Angle in a sense, or even I guess AEW in 2021, right? You bring Kurt Angle in a sense, and it helps solidify the roster. They have done nothing with it. I mean, they're trying with the women's division now in a sense, but it's still not worth a damn. It's still not where it's supposed to be in 2024. Like, not even close. So to think that Mercedes Moné would come in and she would be the draw of the. If I'm Mercedes Moné and I'm coming into the AEW women's division, first of all, I'm not signing a long contract. 2, I'm making a fuck ton of money. 3, I'm having creative control, and 4, I'm picking all of my own opponents who I want to face, and that's just how it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm promised at least one main event of a pay-per-view in an entire calendar year, like, because they have nothing. Like, no strong. Even the ones who are on top, Britt Baker's in an interview saying, like, I guess I need to show Tony that, I need to be talking on the mic again. Even your biggest woman stars, like, y'all niggas playing games.
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné, your own fans are telling you, do not go to the ghetto.
They're love
not,
you. Oh, they're not telling. They're not telling her not to.
I've seen them not to. I've seen them say they would rather prefer her come back to the WWE. But
I've seen more, and it might be the X algorithm, it might be the Elon algorithm. I've seen people say go to a company that has a better women's division. Go to a company that would appreciate her. Go to a company that would, like, all of that. I've seen all of that. Like, she wasn't a multi-time champion. And you know what they're gonna say? Well, it wasn't that long. So they're gonna say that.
You know, Rain, she just got beat by Bianca. Who hasn't been beaten by Bianca? I mean, at this point, she's in a tough situation, but albeit it's a tough situation that she's brought upon herself. She walked out of WWE, so you have no real negotiation leverage, in my opinion. Because if shit doesn't go right, you can literally just walk out again.
And Tony will let her walk out again.
Tony will let her walk out again, but he's gonna keep her side. At this point, if you're investing so much money on it, you would have to do something CM Punk levels of putting the most safe company that's ever existed in danger to get released from your contract in AEW. With Mercedes Moné, if they're making an investment of putting millions into her, you're going to not only be around for a long time. I don't know. You're just going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, he's not signing nobody to little deals. So, like, if you there, you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
so you're there for 2027, 2028.
Yeah. She got a
Yeah.
really, I think if she goes, that shows that she really like believes in this division, but it's also a division that has Britt Baker in it, you know, doing Britt Bakery things, Thunder Rosa in it, doing Thunder Rosary things, uh, and everything in between. You know what I mean? I don't think she has, I don't know of her having many allies in that locker room from what we know of her. She seems to stick to herself, and Bailey and maybe a couple other people seem to be really her close friends. If Naomi's coming back to WWE, then that is what it is. But you've said it yourself, you don't see many allies for her there. So it's like,
No.
what, and I haven't really known her to kind of like be that locker room leader type. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like even when she was there, it was other horsewomen like Becky or Charlotte or someone else that were kind of filling that role from what I heard and from what I know. So like her Sasha Banks locker room leader, could it happen? I don't know.
CM Punk was once a locker room leader.
Oh God.
And we'll get to that on Patreon up next.
But is that everything?
That is everything. That is everything I care to talk about. There's probably more, but we got time. We're back.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We're going to hop over to Patreon and talk about the past couple weeks in TV shows on WWE side. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next week. The Road to Royal Rumble is steadily approaching, and we'll probably have more news on that coming up. We'll probably have news on, you know, the ins and outs of both companies, AEW and WWE, as they continue to kind of find a TV deal, fire people, hire people, all of that, and Chris Jericho kind of still stays, does what he does. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for getting our shirts. Thank you guys for subscribing to Patreon, and we'll be back with more news from Meelz. I'm Justin. Peace out.